All right, everybody, and welcome to another fine edition of the Vamp Show. So let's see what we got. Pretty exciting trading here we got going on, right? We got a lot of crazy things that have been happening. You know, I'd have to say that right now my most accurate chart that I am using is my fib chart. So I've really been relying on this thing right here. I know it's insane. It's got a lot of fibs on it. So this is kind of a combination of a trend line chart and a fib chart. So if you break this out farther, you kind of get a good idea of what it is. You know, this is just all the fibs from all of the drops and bumps. This includes all the bumps on the way down, all the pumps on the way up. Then this also gets all the shorter structures and the shorter retraces. So I kind of have, it's just a big kind of a collage of all the big moves as they come and go all the way down, right? So you know, I've been using this to get a really good correlation of everything as the price action has continued to just be super crazy. You know what I'm saying? We have like really crazy price action right now. And you know, we've seen a lot of really good correlation using this fib and trend line chart, right? So I mean, I plopped this out there the other day. You know, we had this, you know, tick all the way through, and you know, we were saying, hey, you know, got to get through. I was saying you got to get through this green line right here, right? I figured we were just going to keep going down to this green line or this green line, and then we were going to bounce. I knew we were going to have a bounce. I mean, I had a bounce called here, a little shorter. I didn't think we'd go all the way back up to the line. Now, let me tell you, kind of here's a warning sign, right? I'm just going to give you guys a really quick warning sign. So if you break down into this chart action area, right, you'll see that you have, you know, this came up, tacked here, came down, right, came back up again, and then finally dropped out. But if you break this down in here, this gets a little more complicated, right? So you see this came up, came down, came up, kind of like we just did right here, right? And then look, it came down again. Now, let me change these arrow colors. Not too easy to see these damn things on a green. Right. There we go. So look, it down, up again, and then finally, it's just kind of, wait, only kidding. Oh yeah, no, it's going. No, I'm kidding. Only kidding. Wait, hold on. And then you kind of had the final fall. So, you know, looking at this now, this would have been a lot harder to pull out and, you know, an A, B, C, D, E out of this, right? Because so I'm going to go in here and I'm going to delete all these. Let me get in here, delete. And there we go. So this would have been really tricky to play because this never ended up as even kind of an ABC, right? Because so if you would have hit here, I mean, A, B, C wave right there. This would have been your C wave. This would have been either a double top and or this would have been a wave 1, a insanely retraced wave 2, and then wave 3, wave 4, wave 5, right? And that's kind of how I would have looked at this structure here. 1, 2, 3, 4, finally to the 5th right there. Okay, and this is kind of how I would have looked at this, and it's hard for me to remember playing this, but I'm sure I think I was shorting this pretty high up here, and then this would have been your ABC, A, B, C, right? So this would have been your ABC move. This would have been super tough to play right here. And then you would have, now look at the retracement on this, right? So here's your retracement. You only retraced up to the 236, right? You came right up to the 236. You wicked out on it twice, and then you know this was a good double top call, a good call using the fibs, But this would have been a real tricky place to play because you would have been thinking, all right, if this breaks this 236, you're going to the 362. Now, if you look at this, this is kind of what I was talking. So if you go over in the members area, right? So if you go over in the members area, this is what we were talking about. We were talking about a flip trade right here. So what we were saying is we had a flip trade set up right here at 64.90. So it's 64.90. We had a flip trade. So you can do these on BitMEX. So if you're in a short trade, you can do a flip trade. So if you're in a short trade for 10K, you have a flip trade, and they'll say that short trade's at 64.50, right? 64.50 is your short trade. Your flip trade would be at 64.90, which would be your stop loss at double the amount of the short trade you're in. Okay, so that's what that would be. So we had a flip trade set up right here. Now, if you watched my video yesterday, and I don't know how many of you guys did, but if you watched my video yesterday, I clearly on the freaking video called the damn short, right? I mean, I was like, it couldn't get any, and I'm trying to be as just like in your face with what I think is going on. And here, this was yesterday, late night secret session target set for short entry, short here, right? There's your stop loss. Your stop loss would have been the 786. The 786 doesn't exactly show up on this chart. It's on one of the other charts. But I mean, this is it. It was short here. Now, in the members area, what we said that there was a best entry option. The best entry option, of course, would have been to get at, let's see what we called out here. What did I call out? Let's go back. Let's see what the vamp said. Oh, actually, I called it on that same one. Got it. So there it is. This is what I said. I said a little better entry is the 786, which is 64.54. Okay, so this would have been your best entry right here for a short. Okay, now look at the price action in here on these charts, right? So if you look at the price action on the chart, oh, I hate that when it happens. Oh, all right, I lost it. And, oh, I hate that. Damn it. Hold on a second. Vamp fail. There it is. All right. So if you look deep into this chart, you'll see that we just had posted up this green candle right here. We'd started on this other little teeny tiny candle right here. Now, look at how high this candle made it up, right? This candle made it up to... And this was after my call. This candle made it up. I'm just trying to be as accurate as possible. 64.39. Okay, so 64.39 was as high as that candle made it after our call. So I did miss this call by, is that 9 points or something? No, it's like 6 points. Like 6 points, something. No, it's a little more. It's a little over that. So, it was okay. It was an okay call. Now, I had shorts that were stacked at 64.40. So, I listen, if I call a target, I did have shorts that were stacked under that. And then I did also show those shorts that I had in that play. And where are they at? Okay, and so there you go. So remember, I had multiple shorts that were stacked, and you can see that my average entry price was 63.86, right? So I had shorts that were stacked up because I shorted immediately at that call. I pulled a short immediately at that call. Now, it didn't catch my higher up shorts. It just missed it. Just barely missed my next level of shorts, and I was sitting good. So see, here you go, same thing. I pulled shorts on both my exchanges that I'm using right now. So it was a really good call. We had it was another good call. Now, the tough part here is when I look at this, right? A couple things that I'm worried about here, okay? I definitely am worried about another possible bounce back up into this area from here, right? Even from right here, I'm worried we could have one more bounce back up into the area, back up here, And it is possible, it's possible to come back up here before we go down again, right? Now, I don't have a lot of faith in that. I have more faith that this comes down and it's going to test this line right here, right? Now, remember, this line keeps getting higher because this trend line right here that we have from there to here. Now, it keeps gaining height every single day that passes by. So if you got another 2 days that go by, this thing's just going to slowly keep crawling up and up here till we get in the target box. All right. The other issue we have is we have our Stochastic chart. Our Stochastic chart is kind of at the bottom bouncing around, but I want to bring up another chart. This is another new chart that I have right here. So this chart right here shows a larger wedge pattern. So you see this big, massive wedge pattern right here that I've put on the MACD, right? And this is the standard MACD. This is not the MACD I use with my RSI. This is a standard MACD chart. Okay, and what I'm looking at here is I'm looking at the possibility of this coming down and testing the bottom of this before we get a retracement up. Now, there's two different support zones. You've got the support line on here, this trend line. You've got a second support trend line here. So, I'm kind of watching this to be caught on either one of these lines. And we've got a lot of distance between these the little red line and the blue line right here, the MACD line, and I like to see these get closer together before I see a big bounce, right? I like to see these getting a little closer together. I am telling you guys right now, there will be a bounce. There's going to be a damn bounce. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to save this thing right here. So let's save this. Okay. So I am telling you right now that there will be a big bounce, and it's going to happen at one of these points. It's either going to happen at the 6,000 point, or it's going to happen down here at the 5,700 point. But there will be a big bounce, right? And this is something I'm waiting for. So I'm going to pull this off here. Actually, I'm going to put that back on because I am worried. Right, so here is, until this line is broken, this is still, it's still in anybody's court, right? This is anybody's ball game right here until this line is broken, okay? So, and I'm going to put that up here, right? I'm going to write up here, right? I'm going to right here, okay? We're going to say, this is anyone's game till right. So this is in anyone's game until this trend line gets just and it can't just bounce off it. It's got to get broken, right? I don't want to see a wick here and bounce off. And, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying this line has got to get broken. It's got to get pierced. And that would show me a lower low. Right now, this is not a lower low. This is a lower high. And if we really started to dig into this thing, we would see really quickly, and I'm going to pull this off here. I'm going to throw another fib on here. The total retracement. Okay. So we came down and we retraced below the 786, right? This is this is a very deep retracement. And this is tough. This is a really tough spot to be in. You could start to, if I was a bull, and I could make the argument, wave one, wave two, and then this is kind of your wave two flat as long as it, comes down here, and then wave three would be going up, right? So this would be the continuation of wave three. If I was very bullish, this is what I would look at to say this is a wave one, wave two, starting of a wave three, and then a continuation pattern. Now it's going to be it's a really tough simply because these retracements have been pretty insane. But because this retracement didn't break this level, it doesn't make this bearish at all. Now, this retracement, even breaking this level, even breaking 5,800, is still not bearish. It is still not bearish. This does not confirm bearish until it breaks this 5731 area. So this has to retrace deeper than the 5731. But the very first thing that needs to happen is this has got to retrace deeper than this 5881. This is just kind of number one. And or the trend line. Just show us that that trend line will get broken. Right, this trend line has to get broken. Otherwise, this kind of remains a quasi-legitimate bullish push here. I mean, this is kind of bullish, right? So that's why I'm saying I'm not gonna get all. This is going to 5,700. Or this is going to 4,800 until I see a couple things broken. And step one is just getting through this trend line, right? Get me through this trend line right here. And then we'll have a talk, right? We'll have a talk about the next area. But step one is just getting through this trend line, which I think is really kind of number one. Okay, number two, all right, we're going to come up here. Okay, now we have set up top here, we've kind of set a resistance level, right? We kind of have a resistance zone now that's been placed up here, right? And I want to make sure, so, all right, so if we get in real tight in here. So if we come in real tight, here's our bottom, right? Our fib line's on the bottom. We came up, hit the 236, bounced off the 236, okay? Now, this has got to hold because if this were, once again, we need to see this break down lower than this trend line right here, okay? And the last time, it didn't do that. The last time, it went north on us, right? It went all the way up here, and it either tested this line again or it broke out over the line. Now, historically speaking, if you take a larger, if you take this larger push from right here, right? There's a larger drop, and let's kind of see where our bigger trend lines are. I want to just kind of, right, there's that one. There's the 236. So the 236 is sitting there parked at 6730. Okay, so yeah, so you've basically got a lot of resistance. That's all right here at the 618. So look, this is 618. You got a lot of resistance right here from this previous fib line down right here from this drop, okay, which is right here, right there. So we're going to scoot that over, right? So this whole little area right here has got a ton of resistance in it, right? So this little area that we just shorted from now is our historical resistance, okay? So we're going to make sure this doesn't pop back up here. Now I'm going to make this arrow orange because I'm not feeling. I just don't feel this. What I think is, I think we're going to come down here and we're going to test this line. And this is going to be our next move, right? So what I've done is I've got my stop losses. I put my stop losses in place in profit. Okay, I got my stop losses in place in profit, so we're sitting pretty good. And we're just waiting for this to be a continuation pattern. And remember, just because this dropped down, you know, this can still come up and still come down again. And I'm not, you know, I'm not going to go bullish on, like I said, I'm not bullish on anything until we, I won't until we get to, hold on a second. I won't be bullish on anything until, or bearish on anything until we cross this line. I'm going to be neutral in here. So I am neutral until we cross this line, okay? So I'm going to plop that in there. So Okay, so until we cross this line, and we're gonna just call this zone right here. Right, that line. And there we go. All right. Okay, and let me get this up here. Okay. Yeah, I need subtitles, exactly. All right, so now let's go. So let's go over. I want to go to another chart. Oh, that's I wanted to show that later. Yes. Okay. So here we go. So let's take a look. Now here is our bubble chart, and historically our bubble chart. Look at the area right here. Look at this purple area right here. This purple area, and we're right in it. Right? We're right inside of this purple area right here. These are bearish bounces. Okay, every one of these is a bearish bounce. So you see here, this came back up, and then the price continued to die. This came back up and just kept going up, but as this went up, the price just kept continuing to die. Okay, so this is, I'm telling you, this chart right here, the bubble chart says a damn bounce is coming, and you got to watch out for a bounce, right? So the bubble chart is saying, watch out for a bounce, okay? But these are bearish bounce, so watch out for a bearish bounce. Watch, okay. And what this would be is this would be a bearish continuation bounce. Okay, so that's exactly what these are. Every time this came down here, this was a bearish continuation bounce. And I'm going to move that down here and move this over here, right? And that's what these are. These are bearish continuation bounces. And this is kind of what I'm watching for, right? And I've kind of got everybody on alert right now. So we're all on alert to make sure we don't get caught on this bearish continuation bounce, because this is what happened last time, right? If we go back to our fib chart, right, this stupid thing bounced up and tested this again and then fell out again, right? So, you know, we're watching that, but this bubble chart is what we're looking for, right? This bubble chart is really what we're keeping an eye on because of these bearish continuation bounces. And I'm just going to grab this. Okay. All right, and let's go over to that chart. All right, so let's go over and take a look at our Bollinger Bands. So we're going to look and see what we got over here in our BBs. So here's our BBs. The daily, look at this, a crazy 9 on the daily, just fell out, starting a countdown. We're on a red 6, right? This is a TD red 6 with a green candle. We kind of had a hanging man close out there on that. And I want, where is my, hold on a second, I want to find my weekly chart. Let me find my weekly chart here first. Okay, we'll use this one. We'll use this as our weekly chart. My Tether Fairy chart. All right, so let's start here. So what we're going to do is we're going to start here at this weekly candle. So our weekly candle closed out as a bearish engulfing candle. Right now, this is different on different exchanges. I know over here on Phoenix, this didn't top out over this, but on other exchanges it did. And let me find out where that's at. What exchange was that? On my Bitstamp. That's my Bitstamp chart. Where's Bitstamp? Let me open my Bitstamp chart up. That's where I have this all drawn. And there we go. All right, perfect. Okay, so here you have Litecoin, which is clearly a bearish engulfing candle. Okay, so you have clearly a bearish engulfing candle on Litecoin. This is then Litecoin, Bitcoin. So here's your Bitcoin chart in comparison to your Litecoin chart. These are both weeklies, right? So you're looking at both weekly candles. Now, clearly over here on the Bitcoin chart, right, you see that this was massively engulfing, right? So you have a massively engulfing bearish candle. Even the body of the candle here did top over the body of the week before, right? Now, this engulfed not 1 week, this engulfed 2 weeks, right? And this is kind of what our chart says, right? Here's in our chart, in our members area, this is what this chart says. This chart says that if you look at this chart very carefully, you can see the historic resistance and support zones, right? You can see this right here, body, body. So where these two bodies are, right, 64.80. Now, when we were calling the top, this is one of the reasons we had our flip trade set at 64.90, because we were looking, or over 64.80, is because that would have been a flip trade based on a breaking out over this historical resistance and support level on the weekly chart. Right, so this was a pretty easy trade for us, and this is why we were shorting, because we were like, hey, it's got to break out over this, otherwise it's clearly bearish, right? So the same thing. This is now your resistance area. This is your 64.80 is your resistance area as you go back historically. And then even goes as low as 64.46, 64.50, which is my kryptonite zone, right? So if you go and you just place this on the weekly area, weekly candles, right? There's that, there's that. This is now your resistance. And this area has an insane amount of resistance, right? Now, looking at our closes, let's take a look at our closes, how these candles closed out here, because this is important, right? Here was our bounce to 7,400. Here was our bounce to 8,400. Here was our bounce to 7,400, right? Now, one thing I want you to take note of is that these bounces, right, as you look back historically, have been getting weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker. Okay, so these are getting weaker as they keep moving along. It's like a ball that's losing momentum, right? And that's, it's a ball. You throw the bouncy ball and it bounces, 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 and then it just starts rolling. Okay, so we have been continually getting weaker in our climb up. All right, so you can also see we have a lot of resistance above us at the 66.17 line, which is our 7 MA. So if I really get into this thing, these were kind of our targets, all right? If these bulls take off, right, you have your target set, 64.12, you have your 64.80. This would be your first area that the bulls would have to break out of. Now, if you trade as a swing trader, which you shouldn't, you should trade however you feel comfortable, but that's how I trade. I already was shorting up here. We all know this, right? So you've seen my trades. Technically, I am in this trade from right here. I have just taken profits out, right? So I have taken my profits. I have entered another trade from right up here, right? So above right here at the 6,400 range, right underneath it, right? Now, I am holding this. I've dropped my stop loss a little. So my stop loss is right down here. You've got a bunch of resistance and support areas. And you can just kind of, if you say, hey, where should I put my stop losses? Well, there's a good area. If you want to be super cheap and tight, if you want to be super tight, like you just opened a short, you'd probably want to go right in here and be really, really tight, just so you don't get stomped down in some kind of crazy high leverage short. Now, because of where we're sitting right now, we're at 6,270 points, right? 6,280. You don't have far to go down. You shouldn't be jumping into a short right now until we break 66K. So once we break 6K, then you should be looking at getting into a short position from here. This is dangerous. This is a dangerous area if you haven't been shorting any of the corn from the way up top here, okay? So now you can see if this comes up, it's going to face resistance right here, right? In fact, it should face resistance on this wick right here also. So you've got that wick right there. That'll also be resistance above it. There's your next level of resistance and so on and so forth up to 63.40. My stop losses are set above this because I know this is all resistance here, right? So I have my stop losses set higher, and we point that out. Where did we point that at? I just told everybody move your stop loss into profit, right? Oh, 63.85 is where I have one of my stop losses, 63.85. So I'm over this, but I just moved my stop loss into break even. I'll probably lower it a little bit so I can get my stop loss put into profit right here, okay? So I am still playing this as if this is my target, bear target number 2, which now has to kind of slide over here like this, a little bit higher. Right now in your weekly, look where this target is on the weekly. If this thing just kind of takes a dump out here, 59.51, 59.60, kind of where this would end up. And this is a long week ahead of us. We just started, okay? Now, let's start to run down the candles here. Okay, here's our 3-day. All right, so we just opened up a new 3-day candle. Okay, so let's take a look at our 3-day candle. We're on a red one. Right below us is really good target. So this is your target. Your target is 6K. 6K to the trend line, right? It's a great target. If we can come down here and tap this, it will bounce off of this on the first hit, right? So you will be expecting a bounce off of this on the first hit. Okay, so this started a brand new 3-day candle. It is still a red one. It's trading above, but let's see how well that goes. Now, if you want to do the same thing, you can peel into your 3-day chart, 63.10, the same thing we had on our other chart, right? There it is. Look at this. Boom, boom, open and close, right? So you have more, there's more resistance right there above you. All right, so that's kind of what we've got for our 3-day candle. No help. This candle does not help me. This candle was wicked. This candle does not help me here trading at all. 2-day candle. Brand new 2-day candle just started. You kind of got it's kind of hard to call these 3 white soldiers marching down. I mean, it kind of, you could look at this as, 3 black crows. This would be 3 black crows marching down. Now, on the 2-day, you did have this cross. And your resistance up there is 6,700. Getting down in here, look at this. Look at all this right here, 63.12, right? So look at, there's that line again, 63.12. Lot of support, lot of resistance historically here. Let's keep an eye on this. Like, look at all the banging around in this channel right here. All right, a lot of banging around in the channel. Brand new candle, no help from any of these candles at all. None of these candles give me a combo pattern, except if I'm looking at this as possible three black crows. Daily candle, we're on a 6, kind of an inverted hammer, right? Give us a little momentum up. Let's take a look across over here and see where our momentum 63. So let's look. All right, so wick, body, wick, body. Look at all this stuff right here. 310, really good resistance right here. And, just you're facing a lot of resistance in this channel. Look at this whole crazy channel right here. There's that crazy channel. Support below you on the daily. See, it got tapped right there, and you don't have far to go down below. None of the MAs help me on this at all. On the daily, 12-hour, slightly bearish cross. I mean, don't really need to play this that well. I wouldn't play this. I wouldn't add any shorts because of this bearish cross. No help on the candles. Nope. See, if this body was a little bit lower, I would call this an engulfing. I would go engulfing on that. It is an engulfing candle on the 12-hour. Let's see what we got here. Give me 1 second. Nope, that's bearish engulfing. If it's anything, it's bearish engulfing. It's almost a bearish harami. You know, almost. It's just, this is tough right here. This is a tough play. This is a little too high. Now, this is a bearish engulfing candle, but it is a little on the high side there, right? A little bit on the high side. Okay, now your 7 MA on the 12 hours parked at 63. A lot of, that's a very high resistant area. And let's see what else we got. So no help on our moving averages, like I said. 6 hour. You're going to have a bearish cross. I'm on it. Look at this great candle right here. You had a really good doji, shooting star doji candle, reversal candle. This is really pretty. Came down, kind of looks like it's testing, going back up. And I think this is just going to be a continuation pattern down is what I'm looking at here. I still think this is a continuation pattern down. Bearish cross coming. No help from your MAs at all. And yeah, nope. No help at all for anything. It doesn't help me. If this does close out like this and this candle stays like this and this stays in here, this would possibly be a bearish inside bar candle or bearish engulfing candle. 4 hour, no help. No help at all. It's just look at this crazy, it's like a roller coaster. Wee, 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 right? There you go. All right, so nothing, no help there. And we're going to take this all the way back to the weekly. All right, so this is kind of what, oh, sorry, come on, get over there. So this is basically my weekly setup, bull and bear count. And I still have my target. My target's still right here, still bear 2 target. I'm just going to hold on to this puppy right here. Okay, just going to hold on to that baby. And let's kind of go over, I want to take a look at, there was another chart. Hold on a second. Nope. 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 Oh, our Bollinger Bands. Okay, cool. So let's look at our BB real quick here and see what we can find out on our BB. So here's our daily. Okay, so the lower side of our daily has now moved down to 6,046, right? So we're going to move this down. That's a pretty good drop. It's a 100 point drop. 6,046. Okay. Now we're going to get rid of this. It's the daily 12. So the daily middle BB. So let's put the daily middle BB. There it is. It's 6774. Okay, so there's our middle BB. Now this is old, so we're going to get rid of this. Get rid of that. All right, so we're going to switch this over to the 12 hour. Oh, Jesus. Jesus. Look at that, man. The 12 hour just took a tank right there. Wow, is it 59.33? 59.39. Sorry, 59.39. So that was definitely got escalated quickly. All right, there's your support channel right there. The middle line of the 12 hour. So the 12 hour middle resistance is right there. So there, now look at this top side. See where all this top side is right here? Right, so what is that? 60. Why did I have that? 67.92. Okay. All right. All right, I think that's all we have to work with. That's all I'm good for. All right. Wow, that just got, look at how wide this is. Look at how wide this is. So when this opens up like this, right? See the squeeze, there's the squeeze. I'm just learning right now. So there's the squeeze, popped up hard, and this is just opening wide. So it's just getting this weakness. And look at just the plummet right there, right? So if this sucker does fall out, and we're just going to pop this. All right. Okay. That's all I got on that. RSI. So looking at our daily RSI, no help. This doesn't help me out at all. There's no, it's hard to get it. There's no channel that's been created. Let's take a look at the 12-hour. Just absolute chaos. So I'm going to move this over here. So we did start a channel. So here's our channel on our RSI. Kind of got this channel drawn out right here. Right now you've got this higher resistance level that's up here, right? That kind of corresponds with this and that. So let's see how this, this is still bullish engulfing. You had this wicked shooting star doji candle. You have another trend line right here. So you have another trend line. This has got to get up over 63.23. I am staying bearish on this thing. And you still have room to fall here, right? You still have room to fall. Now, this is what it's on our 6-hour. Man, I just don't like this. Let me pull my 12-hour up real quick. See, we still haven't hit the bottom here on the 12-hour. And this thing just doesn't like to reverse until it hits the bottom. Right? Every time this thing likes to reverse, it loves to hit the bottom. Look. Reverse, reverse. Look at all these reverses. Right? Every time it wants to do that, it wants to get all the way down and tap the bottom. Just no bottom there. We haven't hit the bottom yet. So I remain bearish because of the RSI on the 12-hour. Right, I'm going to peek over at the 1-day. Yeah, same thing. I'm staying bearish because this hasn't bottomed out. Like when this taps down here to the bottom, I'll be like, okay. See, look, same thing. Look at this bounce here. Like this bounce didn't even... Like this 7,400 bounce never even hit the bottom right there. It likes, when it does a solid or real reversal, it likes to go all the way and at least poke it, right? At least poke the bottom reversal. Poke the bottom, real reversal. Poke the bottom here. And then you got a real reversal. This didn't poke the bottom. This makes me this makes me think this is just a bounce, just like a dead cat bounce off there. Right? So, okay, that's all I got. I am still bearish right now. I am bearish. I'm still bearish on this. Let me pull up to 12. I'm just going to get this in here. Get our lines up here. Let's take a look. Okay, let's adjust this. Adjust this. Right? There it goes. Unbelievable. Man, there it goes. 63.40, 63.50, all the way back up. Unbelievable. Just like the fib chart. Just like the fib chart. Wow. That thing spiked high. Yep. All right. Yeah, that thing just stop loss hunted. Let's see if this can hold this. Yeah, just like it did back over here. Remember, we just got done talking about this. Boy, this thing is going to play out just like, see how this fell down here and then pumped back up there? This thing is playing out just like the same way. Just wrecking people's stop losses. See if this thing can keep going. Yeah, I'm still bearish, guys. I am telling you, I'm still bearish. Until the RSI hits the bottom, you know, you don't get that reversal. So until the RSI hits the bottom, you don't get the reversal. And that's what we're watching for. We're watching for the RSI. And then, look, we just freaking watch for a bearish bounce. Yep, there it is. Okay, so this bounce, looking at this is going to be a bounce. This is going to be a bounce. This looks like it's going to be a bounce. Yeah. Let's see if we can get past the see, there it is. Look, came right up into that area right there. Right there. So if you were looking at this, so this, see your target right there, the 236, 6412. That's where that's trying to get to. And I'm telling you, I think like looking at this MACD chart, right? That MACD just spun around hard. Yep. Okay. Well, I knew there was a bearish bounce coming. Let's see what the other ones are doing. ETH, Pumpy, Neo, EOS. Yeah, listen, I mean, this is we just called it out. We just said we're looking for a bearish bounce. I don't think this is going to get very high. I mean, this is, you know, I don't think this is going to go too high. All right, OMG. Whew. Look at Doggy Coin. Man, Doggy Coin's on fire. This coin's insane. Yeah. Yeah, Doggy's out of control. Yeah, let's go over here. I mean, damn bubble charts. Every time with the bubble charts. Yeah, listen, I just got done saying I'm not bearish or bullish until this thing breaks 6K, right? I mean, this has got to break 6,000. Otherwise, it is not bearish or bullish. Right? Where did I put that chart? Oh, it's my fib chart. All right, so we are at a test for the RSI right here. So this is a critical area for the RSI where the RSI gets tested. You're also in that channel. Let's see what happens right here. You also got this channel right there. Oh, look at this. Look at the Litecoin. Perfect. Came up, tapped, came down, tapped the lower, the descending trend line. Let's see how this thing goes. So I'm watching for it to break out, for Litecoin to break out over this. If Litecoin breaks out over this, oh, it's on. It's going higher. I'm watching Litecoin. Litecoin's the key. Also watching the RSI. See, until this damn RSI hits the bottom. I don't know. Let me check my MEX account. Ah, come on. What do I got? Nope. Got my stop loss. Damn it. Yep, got my stop loss on MEX. Damn MEX. Damn MEX. Yep. I think I was only like 5% on that trade. That sucked. Yep, I got taken out on MEX. Yeah, on Binance. Look, on Binance, it went way. Gosh damn it. Litecoin's holding. RSI is holding. Let's see if it stays inside this channel right here. Oh, you piece of crap. All right, everybody. That's it for me tonight. Let's just see what happens here. I'll get on later and do a secret session. Okay, so let's. I'll dump this down and let's see what we got. I am not changing any of my targets here, right? So I'm just not gonna. I'm just gonna leave this right here until this breaks this resistance line. You know, you're looking. There's your. This is your top side target right there, right? So we're still, until this breaks out over 64.90, I'm still bearish on this. So it's still got to stay within the 64.90. Once it breaks out over 64.90, that's when we will, that's at that point we'll go bullish, okay? So 64.90 is still our bullish trade zone. All right, everybody, thank you so much, and have a good night.